that all right? Yeah, I think it's that one. All right. How does that look in the background? Yeah. Okay. Excellent. I like your little your microphone. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't think we've met. So have we met, Leslie? I'm Simone. Sure. So the Better Business Bureau, we have an international initiative that has done some really significant research on some different scams across North America. And just recently, we issued one today, which was kind of an update on employment scams that we had done previously. And so, as a result of COVID, what we were seeing and what we are seeing is that there was an increase in people being victimized by employment scams. Mhm. It's actually really interesting because within Canada, 67% of the complaints that had been reported were female, and most common ages were between 25 to 34. In 2020, when the BBB Institute did some information, it's some collection, they also saw that the median loss by consumers was about $500. But that's not including, of course, time. That's just reported loss. So it's something that impacted people who are, looking for work, who are vulnerable. And when we look at that kind of audience, you can imagine that they've got bigger things on their plate than just trying to find income. And so, employment scams are something that is something to be very cognizant about, to be very aware about. Sure, I'd be happy to elaborate on some examples of employment scam. Yeah. A very typical type of employment scam involves you posting, maybe you're looking for work on a job board. You receive an email and they ask you for information, maybe your driver's license or social insurance number. When you send them that information, you never hear anything back at all. Those are often a really good way for scam artists to get your information, your personal information, to be used for identity theft, right? Where there's a financial risk for you in the long term. That's just one type of employment scam. Another type of employment scam is where you actually do work, but you're not paid for that work. In those types of situations, an example might be that they're advertising, they're looking for someone to do to work from home or mystery shop, or to reship packages. In those situations, often what happens is you get sent money, you get sent a check or some payment in a way that turns out down the road to be fraudulent. And so the trick for them in those situations is you're asked to send money somewhere else and report forward on what your experience is, or you're asked to send packages to another country. By the time you find out that the payment is counterfeit, you're out of pocket. And that's what makes it so egregious. And then finally, another one is where you're told that you're being hired to be a caregiver or a nanny, And what happens in those situations, you're told that you have to buy your own equipment. Again, payment is sent, payment is counterfeit, and you end up being out of pocket. Yeah. I think with the pandemic, more people were out of work, and we're looking for labor. They're also, I think people are working from home, so they're looking for opportunities. You're way more connected to your computer than ever before, and you're looking for opportunities. And so if someone contacts you and says, hey, I've got a job opportunity for you, and you get to work from home, it sounds perfect, especially if you're really worried about money or you have childcare needs, and you're able to stay at home. So with the rise of COVID and employment going and being impacted by that, I think people are more vulnerable to that opportunity. Sure. So, just as we talked about that payment scheme in which someone says, hey, here's your check. In this case, they were being told that, again, mystery shop. So they're sent payment in advance and told to then deposit money in some sort of a Bitcoin ATM. So when you do that, money is no longer traceable. And again, you're out of pocket when the payment you've received is counterfeit. So, anytime you're being asked to send money elsewhere, that's a big red flag right there. Legitimate employers will not ask you to do that. They'll hire you, they'll pay you, and you should never have to send money to receive money. Yeah, I'd be happy to provide some tips on helping people avoid job scams. I mean, the first thing you want to do is always check out an opportunity that's being presented to you before you do anything. So before you give them any information at all, check to make sure that the organization that has reached you is legitimate. Not only by looking at the name of the business and doing a Google search, but also contacting them and checking to make sure that they are the same company that is claiming to be hiring you. We have heard of scam artists counterfeiting or using the name of legitimate organizations in their schemes. The other thing I would do is then do your research on that business and make sure that they're established. Maybe Google their name and the word scam and see what comes out to see if other people have reported experiences like that. When it comes to these types of overpayment schemes, you never want to forward money. You never want to wire transfer money. You never want to buy Bitcoin or cryptocurrency on behalf of someone else. Those are all red flags. And a lot of the employment scams artists are finding you through your legitimate posting on job boards. So just be very cognizant and careful about what information you're providing online. Maybe just use one email address on those specific forms to limit your risk. Mhm. Mhm. When you're freelancing for an organization or another individual, you still should be doing your research. So again, there's some red flags. If they're asking you for information that is unrelated to the type of work you'll be producing, something's wrong there. If they're hiring you and then they're asking you to buy your own equipment, they're sending you payment in advance and then they're asking you to forward money back. Those are all big red flags. And even anybody can have a negative reputation online. So nothing's to stop you from going on and taking a look. BB has a tool called Scam Tracker. You can come onto our scam tracker tool and read over what other people, their experiences are like. And you can take a look at this full investigative study and find other examples of people that have been victimized and learn from their experiences so it doesn't happen to you. Everything except if you are, this can happen to anyone. And I think a lot of people feel that when you're a victim of a scam, it can be embarrassing or it's not worth reporting. And I just want to remind people that this can happen to anyone. So if you are a victim of a scam, make sure you report it. I would reach out to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Center and then to BB Scam Tracker because you can help it from stop it from happening to someone else. It was lovely to meet you. All right. Have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.